we have for now, right? So we're gonna watch this Starfield information and news because when the reveal came out, everybody was talking about how Starfield is gonna be game of the year, right? Everybody was excited about Starfield. This is game of the year. This will be the best one. This is gonna be the one that gets the award and the accolades and gets to have all the we love you kind of attention put on it, right? And that was how everybody was talking about this game after it was revealed. But now it's actually got people playing it and it's got reviewers. So I'm interested in seeing what's going on with the reviews. That's great news, obviously, according to the caption here and the way it's set up to get people to click on it. And there's also still a problem. So I'm assuming that this is news and drama, and I plan to do what we normally do with that around here, which is just have an opinion.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we got a super important episode today with reviewers' opinions on Starfield so far, mod support coming day one, no bugs or glitches in many of the reviewers' playthroughs so far, and so.
Oh, that's fantastic, actually.
Grab a cup of coffee, 'cause we got a lot to talk about. Don't forget.
It's not very common you get the game comes out and reviewers are talking about a lack of bugs anymore. See, this used to be commonplace where it's like, man, I found a bug. Here's something you can do. And it was like this fun little shouldn't exist thing in the game. Whereas now it's like, yeah, here are some bugs that are going to be obvious. They're going to be blatant. You're going to encounter it regularly. And here's some workarounds to help prevent it from happening. That's where we've gotten, is game developers and the development companies not sending you a game that's actually, been tested and had things corrected before releasing it so that you have a finished product. And many of these things, they'll be like, whatever, you can just follow a YouTube video on how to, alleviate this issue to some extent. So we're going to ignore it, and we're going to focus on other things in the game while you still have to deal with this fucking bug that's annoying and shouldn't be a problem.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Comeback Kids are doing a giveaway for a free copy of Starfield, so make sure you stick around until the end of the video to learn more information on how you can win a free copy for yourself. Now, okay, ladies and gentlemen,
oh no, I know what I didn't do today.
Starfield is officially less than 2 weeks away. We are absolutely in the end game of this game launching, man. Don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, if you got the game through
Okay, I was wrong. I thought it came out already. It's not a game I'm really looking forward to, so I was incorrect. It comes out in a couple weeks.
Microsoft Store or purchased it for the Xbox, make sure you start your pre-download today, right now. If you bought the game on Windows PC through Steam, you're going to have to wait until the end of the month, sadly. But if you have the opportunity, it's a 130 gigabyte download. It is a lot to get through.
Ooh.
We also saw something that was really interesting over on Reddit, that there's actually Starfield-themed drinks over in Germany right now. So if you're either a big memorabilia fan or if you're just watching this from Germany, definitely go ahead and grab one of those and crack it open for me.
Yeah, this type of thing makes sense for established franchises.
I'd be killing to get one of those right now for the background of the room. Obviously, there have been other merchandises with Starfield, like chairs, backpacks, whatever. So if you guys are interested in that, make sure you go check it out online as well. Getting to some actually serious news. Don't forget, ladies and gentlemen,
that's just the developing company trying to build up hype around their product. When you start seeing like backpacks and notebooks and pencils and markers and crayons, and you get energy drinks or sodas, like when you start getting these things that are for a video game that's not like a video game franchise, like you got to realize things like Halo, right? When Halo had the Mountain Dew thing. I think it was Game Fuel had, Mountain Dew Game Fuel had a specific Halo can back in the day. I may be wrong about it being Game Fuel, but and maybe it was Pepsi or whatever, but Pepsi and Coca-Cola used to promote certain games that had a established fan base on their cans that would give you like a collectible Coke or Pepsi can or bottle for that franchise. And people would buy these and keep them, never open them at all, and just keep them as a collector's item. When this happens for something that's not an established franchise, that's your developers trying to create hype so that you get FOMO. You get that fear of missing out, and then you go buy their shit. because you're just like, oh man, but if they're making backpacks and notebooks, my kid needs that one because he can't be teased for having the not cool thing. He can't be left out of the cool kid group. Like, it's clear when it's backpacks and stuff who they're targeting, right? When it's school supplies and things, it's very obvious who they're targeting, and that's the parents. Funny story, it's not actually targeting the kid, it's targeting parents of children. That way you buy the shit for your kid so that your kid isn't bullied or teased and can be the kid that fits in and makes friends. You see what's going on there? They're playing a fucked up psychological game with you through your children.
Gamescom is going to be on August
That's marketing.
3rd through the 27th.
Did I put this on the right thing? Hold on. I don't even know. Oh, Jesus. We're not in the right thing. I'm foolish. We're not at all in the right thing. Update my stream info, and we'll hop back in.
It's one of the largest gaming events of the year, allowing the gaming community to play the latest games that are coming out and giving, exclusive access to the showcases and pick up all the, best merchandises of these games, etc. So the reason we're telling you this is because Starfield is actually going to be on the show floor at Gamescom in a
Of course
few
it will
days.
be.
Now, it hasn't been confirmed how much of Starfield we're...
Of course it will be, because this is the last, big reveal / announcement thing going on before the game officially launches, right? So I thought this would be shortly after, and I had it backwards in my mind. It is what it is. The thing is, they of course want to be on the show floor for this because the game's going to be going live and they can showcase the final product of the game, because they're right now, if people are playing it and reviewing it, right? They're reviewing it, and I thought what the caption was for was actual players reviewing it, not reviewers reviewing it, and critics reviewing it, which is mostly what it's going to be. It's going to be people who were given early access to review it, and it's going to be critics as they get their early access, right? So the thing is, the people who are being given the early access are going to have a more favorable response in most cases, because their income depends on a good formal relationship with the company and with the developers, or else they'll just stop sending you shit, right? So they're going to lean more positive in a general sense. Your average gamer, when you get actual gamer reviews, that's more important, that's more valid. It's just like when you look at the reviews for movies, you get the reviews for the movie and it'll be like, what is it? Oh, fuck. I don't know why I can't think of the word. We're just going to look it up real quick. Rotten Tomatoes. There it is. It popped in my head as soon as I was about to start typing. I hate how this works. Anyway, Rotten Tomatoes, let's say there's a movie that comes out that's, some new Keanu Reeves alien movie. It's about aliens, and Keanu Reeves is a star of the movie, and then you start getting the Rotten Tomatoes reviews, and the Rotten Tomatoes reviews say it's a 57 of 100, right? And then you start getting actual viewer reviews, and the viewer reviews go, this is more like an 80, a 90. It's always better to wait until you get people who are actually just consumers to review things than going off of the people who have a vested interest in representing whatever it is that they're getting paid to represent. Some of these critics, and I used Rotten Tomatoes on purpose, some of these critics have a very guarded position, and they're going to be able to get these reviews regardless because of who they work for, and they are trying to spread a specific narrative about certain things based upon what their overarching corporation that they work under wants them to say. Because if they don't, they lose their job. Their income is dependent on how they review the thing. It doesn't matter if their review is accurate or fair or biased or unbiased. All that matters is that they push out the information that's being sought by the person signing the paychecks.
We're we're going to see at Gamescom.
Consumers don't have that.
We're going to be releasing more details on what's going to be available for that very
It does look good. It has looked good the whole time.
That Starfield is going to be playable feature at Gamescom.
Oh, Jesus criminy. Why is it always so quiet?
Gamescom this year, given the high anticipation of the game and its close release. But even if it isn't, we're almost certain that we'll hear more details and news about Starfield
Made that
from Todd
better, right?
Howard or some other developers
sucks
in the
for 2
final
minutes.
Starfield showcase interview. These 4 days are going to be pretty big on Bethesda's part to ramp up the excitement surrounding Starfield, right?
Sorry, it's just the most annoying complaint on in the comments section, because on my end, you have to understand, on my end, I have to turn down my headphones because it's blaring. It's so loud that me, with my tinnitus and already existing hearing issues, it is loud as fuck. I had to get headphones that I could turn down that didn't affect the output volume. Because the other headphones I was using, the only way I could turn down the volume was to affect the actual output volume. Like, on my end, it is absolutely blaringly loud. Yet for somehow, Streamlabs doesn't want to pick up the volume as high as it is, and it shows me that it is peaking, and people will complain that that video has no volume. I don't know what to tell you.
Right before the game's early access launch on September 1st. But like always, ladies and gentlemen, we'll keep you updated with all that information and news about that. Now, if you didn't know already, Starfield has been given out to a ton of people and reviewers to playtest and review the game, so when the review embargo lifts later at the end of this month, they can actually inform the people and give their honest opinion about the game. Now, there have been a ton of news and information to talk about and get through, and one of them was actually about the menu screen that we're about to show on screen right now. By the way, if you don't want to see what it looks like,
yeah, if you don't want to see what the menu screen is going to look like, then move along. Who gives a shit? Why has this got a spoiler warning? Are people really just, oh my god, the menu! I know what the menu is! Like, holy shit, man. People will complain about everything.
Just simply skip ahead about 20 to 30 seconds to go on with the other news. As you can see on screen right now, this is what the menu screen for Starfield is actually looking like.
What a spoiler.
And it seems that some people are actually stating things such as Starfield's menu screen got leaked. It looks about as empty and generic and boring as the procedurally generated 999 planets in the game. Now listen, I'm not really sure what all the hate is about a minimalist type of design when it comes to the home screen, considering Skyrim's home screen.
Who gives a fuck? It's the menu screen. Choose where you're going in the game. Are you going to play your game, or are you going to start a new game, or are you going to load an old file? Are you going to get into the settings and change something? Do you want to check out the gallery? What else is in there? Do you want to check out the crew, which I'm assuming is the credits for who actually was involved in making the game, or do you want to quit? Who gives a fuck? And I'll tell you right now, if this, instead of being a planet, was just space, and this, sun, this star didn't exist right here, as bright as it is, you could take this ring here that you're getting off of the horizon from where the planet's cresting over, right? This could be your halo. This could be space, and you could move this star up over here somewhere, and oh wow, you've got Halo. You've got the Halo menu. I don't remember which Halo, because there have been many, but I think that was Halo 2? Maybe Halo 3? Come on. You're going to bitch about, oh, the menu sucks. Get the fuck out of here. I would rather have a shitty, generic menu and have you go through the game and make the game fucking good than spend 10 years building a fucking menu. Who gives a shit? It's a menu.
Screen was about as minimalist as it can get.
And everybody loves Skyrim.
My guess is that this person has to be some sort of PlayStation-only player, and they're actually butthurt because they don't get to have the game on PlayStation, or they just simply, can't get access to an Xbox or a PC, whatever the case may be. Either way, I think PlayStation users should be pretty happy, considering the fact that Starfield has the lowest download size out of all the consoles, being at a whopping 0 gigabytes compared to everyone else.
0
Shout
gigabytes.
out to PlayStation users there.
Hey, McDiagram, thanks for the follow. Appreciate it.
In the news is that the version that's going to be launched with Starfield is pretty high up there on the list of patches. For example, Fallout 4 launched as a 1.10 patch, and Starfield's projected launch is going to be at a 1.6.35 patch.
So we would hope that this means that there's less bugs, glitches, and just all-around bullshittery within Starfield, right? We would hope that they would have fixed the problems and that you get a more completed game. If this game launches not very completed at all, after having 5 full patches beyond what Fallout 4 had, that's not going to go over very well.
Which means that they're definitely aiming for Starfield to be one of the most polished launch titles in the company's arsenal.
And that's why it won't go over very well if it's not.
Something even attest to this is that there are reviewers out there saying that the time that they've played so far, they haven't even experienced a single bug or glitch after playing for over 15 hours at a time. The thing is, ladies and gentlemen, is that Bethesda games have always been relatively smooth if we aren't talking about Fallout 76. I've never personally faced anything particularly game-breaking other than like maybe the occasional freeze here or there, but we also have autosaves, so we'll be fine with that. I remember
exactly. And that's standard issue problems. Like, you can't, if the game freezes up here or there, that's not really something you can chalk up to the developers, because it may just be like, for some reason, your console or your computer is having to run harder in that moment than it normally is. Maybe you're connected to the internet and it's having some sort of background issue with the internet connection and being on the network, and that's causing your computer to slow down or your console to slow down. Like, there are a lot of factors to the game actually freezing up like that than just they developed it like shit. A lot of the time it's literally just the way that it's taxing your whole system there. So it's fair to keep that in mind when you're experiencing small issues like that, which are a nuisance for sure, but it may not actually be the developer's fault. It may be your hardware.
Skyrim, hell, I mean, I didn't even notice any bugs or glitches the entire time I've ever played Skyrim, and that was back in 2011.
Yeah, Skyrim didn't really have many bugs or glitches that I dealt with, but I didn't play it a lot.
When I started adding, a ton of mods into the game and started doing some really funky stuff. But obviously, I don't want to jinx anything. So far, though, what we've gotten from the reviewers have all been very positive news, and they are kicking ass when it comes to making a solid, stable game with Starfield as of right now. Reviewers all over the place are taking to Twitter and Reddit and just giving a brief snippet of how good they did with the game. With Noel stating, been playing a certain space game and holy shit did they cook. We also have Paris over on Twitter confirming that he's been playing Starfield, and ever since he's been playing, he's gone completely radio silent from Twitter, which means he's really putting in those hours.
Like, in other news, according to
Data Miner, there is no sign.
Like, and here's the thing is, if the reviewers that have been given the access to the game are actually spending the time playing the game because they're actually just enjoying it, so instead of tweeting about it constantly and trying to prep everybody for, oh, this is going to suck, or trying to hype them up constantly, they're actually just playing the game, that's a really good sign. Like, that's actually a very, very good sign for the game and for the developers as a whole. And I hope that the game does very well. I really do. I'm planning to get the FIFA 24 that should be coming out because we don't have a FIFA game that I'm interested in playing. Like, the only FIFA game I have is very old, is my point. And I just want to get the new one and play that one. And then because it's more relevant having the newer one. It'll have more service for it and whatever the fuck other bullshit. Your battle passes and all the bullshittery that comes with it, I'm sure, because it's EA and they like to make you suck down chodes. But point is, I'm gonna get that game, and I am also gonna get the DLC for Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. So that's gonna be what I'm getting in September, and I'm going to look at how this game does with the viewership the fan base and the reviews that come through over time to see how this game actually is before I get it, and I might get it in November. It just kind of depends. I need to look into how much I'm going to have in my video game budget for November and kind of figure out what we're going to do with that because October, I'm sorry. I don't know why I'm saying November, but October. Actually, I probably wouldn't be getting into this game until November, to be fair, because I need to figure out games in October to play to get Halloween content, because I don't really play a lot of like horror-themed games. It's not my thing. I'm not a big fan of most of them, but I don't get into horror a whole lot. It just seems like a genre that for me falls very flat. The way that some of the things that I enjoy fall very flat for other people. Like I like, for instance, film. We'll just keep it in the purview of film and movies. I don't like horror films and movies. I think that they suck. They fall flat. They don't entertain me, and I would rather stare at a wall and watch paint dry because it means that I at least painted something and got something done, and it doesn't feel like a waste of my time. On the other hand, I will watch kung fu movies. Terrible kung fu movies, okay? Absolutely terrible, like 1970s kung fu movies where a guy gets punched this direction and goes this way and falls down forward into the guy that just punched him backwards, okay? I will watch that and find great joy and entertainment and amusement out of that, and other people just don't. It falls flat for them. Same thing. It's just a genre that falls flat for me. But there's a whole month for it, so I need to figure out what we're going to play. I really don't know what I'm going to play yet.
Of DLSS and XESS
but that might have to be my October
Starfield.
budget.
His recent report has revealed that he's going through all the preload files for Starfield on the PC and found no trace of upscalers. So it seems that Bethesda and AMD should be prepared for some sort of negative feedback since there hasn't been any confirmation that competitor technologies will be blocked in Starfield. Now, this may sound like a bunch of mumbo jumbo because, to be honest, it is a little bit for me until I, did a shitload of research on it. But DLSS pretty much stands for Deep Learning Super Sampling from NVIDIA, and XESS is XE Super Sampling from Intel. Basically what this is, it's an AI-enhanced upscaler that helps optimize your FPS and your high-definition video.
Oh, I didn't know that's how that works.
I hope you're ready for another
visuals.
Hold on, because I didn't realize this is what DLSS was either.
Will be blocked in Starfield. Now,
I didn't know that's what this is.
This may sound like a bunch of mumbo jumbo because, to be honest, it is a little bit for me until I, did a shitload of research on it. But DLSS pretty much stands for Deep Learning Super Sampling from NVIDIA, and XESS is XE Super Sampling from Intel. Basically what this is, it's an AI-enhanced upscaler that helps optimize your FPS and your high-definition visuals in the game, which nowadays is very common in new game releases. So coming from a game that's really
I just didn't realize what it did.
Visuals,
I was like, okay, that sounds like it's just going to run more RAM and be more of a pain in my ass.
With this. I'm also
cause
really
lag.
curious to see how long it takes before some really awesome mods start kicking in for Starfield, because I'm sure the community is going to be scratching and clawing to get their hands on anything to make this game as crazy as it could possibly be. But talking about some more community-based topics, a user over on Reddit stated something quite interesting about the difficulty increase in Starfield and their hopes for it. He stated that in a November interview with Todd Howard, he explained that AI enemies are potentially capable of easily dominating human players, and deliberate limitations have to be added for the player to have any chance. So does this mean that increased difficulty settings will be more than just damage multipliers and health multipliers? Now, personally, something I cannot stand in video games.
Now, see, that could be a good and a bad thing, right? Some people would enjoy having a difficulty multiplier that is far more of a dangerous thing. People who enjoy like Dark Souls type games, they would enjoy this. That is a Dark Souls feature, right? Like, go play Elden Ring, come out of the fucking little starting area, you go down the stairs, then you're running fuckface on a horse, and he's like, what, the 5th boss or some bullshit? And he's one of the first damn things you run into. Right? Like, so, some people enjoy that type of thing. Some people really enjoy that. Some people really hate it. Now, I'm somebody who, I like a happy medium. I don't mind running into things that are difficult like that. I just don't like Souls games that are like that, where it's like, okay, here's the game, now go, and then it's like, okay, oh, okay, the game fucks me constantly by having me run into fucking monsters that are just going to one-shot me out of the gate unless I'm familiar with the game, I have the right gear, or I've gotten to the right level of progression. And then I can deal with it. I don't like when you deal with that in games as often as it happens in Souls games. It just irritates the shit out of me because it's like it happens too often in Souls games for my liking. I'm not a fan of the setup. Some people like it. It's just not for me. I mean, like, we played Revenant 2 for a day on stream. I played it again off stream for about another 5 hours, and then I said, fuck this, I want my money back. I don't like these games. I hate when I can shoot an enemy 100 meters this way, and it's just, okay, bam, here you go, and then I'm all of a sudden getting 8 monsters coming from over here that are somehow tagged from that monster over there, and this monster's also dragging 5 monsters with it. I hate that bullshit. I do not enjoy it. It's not fun. All it serves to do is piss me right the hell off. It's not for me. Some people enjoy that. They're like, oh man, I want to figure this thing out and conquer it and blah. But to me, it just feels like an irritating waste of time that only serves to piss me off. So I don't enjoy it. But I see a lot of people enjoying this kind of a scaling system because there are a lot of people that enjoy those games. It's just not for me.
Nowadays is that in order to make something harder, a lot of games just simply turn up that knob of enemy health and damage rather than changing something like
I just move the slider over to the more difficult area of health and damage. It's boring.
I cannot stand fighting something that is just a bullet sponge and will just one-shot me if I get hit one time. It's the exact opposite of what I'm looking for.
Exactly what he just said. I do not like just getting one-shot by shit that can just absorb all the damage I throw out. I fucking hate it. It's why we didn't care to go back and 100% the Star Wars game, right? The new one. I'm not going to do it. I will not do it. When I realized, oh, I'm supposed to fight 2 of these bullshit-ass monsters at once. I'm supposed to fight 3 of these bullshit-ass monsters at once in order to conquer this one fucking thing for me to 100% this game. No, thank you. Because all it takes is one of those things doing something where you have to dodge, and another one of those things doing something you have to jump at the same time or relatively close to each other, and you've been one-shot. Because both those moves will one-shot you. Who wants to deal with that? Like, I understand people that enjoy those games, enjoying that, like, enjoying the game. It's just, for me, that's a hard fuck you. I am not and could not possibly be any less interested. Like, I am not interested and could not possibly be less interested in playing games that are just, we're going to one-shot you over and over again with these fucking monsters. Like, I fucking hate it. I hate it.
For in a game. I think it'd be personally awesome that if you did turn up the
especially
difficulty
when
game,
they're bullet
enemies
sponges.
gain
Get
maybe new
out of
abilities, increase in numbers, become much more aggressive and strategic with their tactics. Pretty much just anything to mix up the gameplay rather than just simply turning up the knob on damage they deal and health. Now, I'm sure to a certain extent you're going to have that sort of thing, but anything that's overdone is just annoying rather than anything. A prime example of this was Diablo 4 recently, and honestly, it was just a lazy excuse for increasing difficulty in my opinion.
Diablo 4 is garbage at this. Like, I played the season the one day on stream for Season 1, and I haven't logged back into the game. It is a game that should be far more fun than it is, that had far more potential than it actually captured, and it seems to me that they just don't give a shit. It seems like they tried to care for about, a minimal amount of make you continue to pay for shit in our game, but that they just don't actually give a fuck, which is how I feel Blizzard has been since Activision partnered with them back before World of Warcraft Cataclysm came out. Right? Like, that's been about how it's gone. It's been more and more the case across Blizzard since then. Over and over again, and it's only gotten worse as time's gone on. Hopefully, Microsoft buying them means they stop with the bullshit and somebody can actually say, hey, this doesn't work, and pulls heads from asses, but I'm not going to hold my breath for that. I'm simply not, because Ubisoft drops the ball all the time. So I'm not going to hold my breath for it, and I'm probably not going to purchase shit else from Blizzard for the foreseeable future. None of their games have hit the mark. They have all fallen short of what's been promised. They have all failed to provide adequate entertainment value for the amount of money that they want to charge, in my opinion. And I'm not going to deal with it. I'm simply not buying their games. Like, I might get Call of Duty because I can play Call of Duty with my brothers, which is part of the reason that I started streaming it, so that I can every once in a while play with my brothers, right? Like, I move 1,700 miles from home, and every once in a while we can get together on the internet and play video games. There you go. That's fine with me. The thing is, that's going to be the only exception to anything Blizzard has to offer that I buy, and that's not even really Blizzard, it's Activision, and the only reason Blizzard's attached to it is because of the fact that they partnered. And it hasn't helped. Because Call of Duty hasn't gotten better either. You can't really name an Activision game that has gotten better as it's progressed since that same point. Both development companies have taken a downward hill pretty much since the same period of time. Activision a little bit earlier.
It was the worst design you could possibly have, because it was to the point where the mobs had so much health and you barely hit them hard, and then they'll just automatically one-shot you. I thought it was really, really lame.
Automatically one-shot you from 2 screens away. It's dog shit. Like, getting hit from something off-screen is one thing. Getting hit from something you have no idea is there and is aggroed to you from off-screen and can hit you from 2 monitors away with you being zoomed out completely, but if you don't have like a fucking a 2x2 grid of fucking monitors for you to play your game on so that you can have it expanded beyond the limit of 1 monitor, it's hitting you off screen all the time, and it'll be a boss that's hitting you with a one-shot mechanic. It's garbage. It's absolute garbage.
And not really good for giving the player a real challenge in the world. Additionally, we also saw a really...
No, that's what I would call artificial challenge in the game in order to make the game appear difficult, to make it seem captivating to people who might be interested but want the game to be more difficult than it is. Just play PoE. Path of Exile it's been around long enough that a lot of the issues have been smoothed out. There's so much to it that it's going to be overwhelming to you when you get into it. And you're probably going to spend hours watching videos on YouTube about how to build your character or go through the game so that you know what the fuck to do. Because there's going to be so many things sending you to so many different pieces of content that the game has to offer from every season that you're probably just going to end up lost. I know I do. And that's like, there's so much to PoE, and I got into PoE so long after it came out that it's just, I don't want to play it. I will gladly wait for PoE 2 and enjoy my time. That's how I feel about it. It's great. There's too much to it, and I can't wait for them to have a second game for me to just start over, and it's all fresh. It's all sensible, and I can kind of grow through the game with it. That would be a better option. Deal with PoE and how you want to deal and like moving along through there, because it's a more well thought out game. You do still get hit off screen, but you're not getting one shot from off screen. You're getting hit from something off screen that you have an opportunity to move from in most cases, and is not one-shotting you the way that it is in Diablo 4. You have no idea the thing's mad at you. Bam! Off-screens you. And people like to sit back and, oh, ballistas, kind of like they're meant to hit you from far away. Pretty much every time I make a comment about this on TikTok or Instagram or Facebook, everybody wants to make that dumbass comment. The ballista's not fucking one-shotting you, ass clown. Do you understand this? The issue is things that take you from 100% health to dead in one shot from off screen that you don't get warning for. It's just, oh, bam, I got hit, now I'm dead. What was mad at me? No one knows. It's not even just off screen. It's 2 monitors away with you at maximum zoom. Get out of here.
Really interesting poses when it came to companions in Starfield. Now,
it makes the game artificially
has been
difficult.
Pretty adamant on
Nothing
putting
more.
companions as a part of their playthrough, if you'd like it. Now, the question is, how much are you going to be using companions in your Starfield playthrough? When it comes to me personally, I didn't use them at all in Fallout 4, but I did use them a bunch in Skyrim. I think that had to do with the fact that Skyrim was more of a high fantasy game, while Fallout 4 was more of a post-apocalyptic, destroyed world that I'd rather...
To be clear, when I say, like, I've only played some of Skyrim, I have probably, like, 300 hours of Skyrim time, and I just can't play Elder Scrolls anymore. Like, Elder Scrolls Online was okay for a while, but I also had a group of people that were fun to play with, and then they all just kind of disappeared into the dark, so I just stopped playing too. However, the thing is, the rest of the Elder Scrolls games, I have the same exact problem with every time. There's some sort of story, I couldn't possibly tell you what the fuck it is. There's something that's going on, I don't know. I have no idea. I only follow this story for a little bit of time, and then I end up joining the Thieves Guild, and I just try to do everything the Thieves Guild has to offer me and steal things from everyone, and to join the Assassin's Guild so that I just run around assassinating and stealing things, and I don't ever actually do anything else in the game. I will just purposely be like, I don't give a shit about doing your quest or doing your mission. I'm the right level to be over in this area, I think, so I'm just going to come over here, rob things, and assassinate people, and I'm going to move on with my life. That's all I ever do in those games. Like, I can't tell you shit about them, and it ends up being why I don't like playing the games, is because I spend a bunch of time in the game doing a lot of content that the game does have to offer that is good fun. But I never actually do anything that the game was designed for you to do, and it makes me feel like I'm probably just wasting my time with this.
Rather just be a lone wanderer,
which I'm not.
Wandering
It just,
that
that's the
wasteland
way
by
it makes
myself.
me feel.
I'm not sure the route I'm going to want to take
What
when
I'm
it comes
interested
to
in
Starfield,
is
to be
not the
honest.
story
I think it
by
would really
any
highly
means.
depend on my character fantasy and stuff like that. But I can't promise you I'm going to be using all my companion skills for my ships, my outposts, all that fun stuff. I'm just going to be very curious if I can't find a trusty companion to actually bring with me in battle and see how that sort of feels. I don't know. What are you guys' opinion on this whole topic? Are you going to be using a bunch of companions? Are you not going to be using them? Are you just going to go solo? Let me know in the comments section below.
If I did it,
now,
I'd
if you guys
be
are interested
solo.
in seeing some more Starfield content, don't forget to consider subscribing. Also, back to that giveaway. The comeback
Like I said, I don't know that we'll play it.
for a free copy
It's
of
not
Starfield.
something that really. It's just not a game that's really all that interesting to me. It hasn't really captivated me. But we'll keep an eye on it and see what people say as time goes on, and maybe I'll end up playing it, maybe I won't. We'll find out when the time comes. That's about all. Oops, that's about all there is to it. We'll find out when we find out. But as for now, I'm not too interested at the moment in the game enough to buy it, especially when everybody wants to charge you $70 for a game, and then also have you pay another $30 so that you can have a battle pass, and then spend another $10 so that you can have the things that are whatever extra bullshit that you have to buy outside of the battle pass, and then you've also got to I hate it. I hate how they nickel and dime you into spending like $400 on a video game that's not worth the $70 they charged you to have in the first place. I just hate doing it. So, and you know what? I think we'll watch that video tomorrow. That's how we're gonna do it. But I'm gonna start up the Nintendo